So we were mentioning black hat and white hat. You're probably wondering what that was. Basically, white hat is things that Google consider to be good. So a good way of optimizing your website and making sure that your website comes up in Google. So they're the things that Google approves of. Black hat are the things that Google says are not good to do. And if you do the black hat things, it's called deceptive techniques. Google doesn't like it. So what they'll do is if you do these black hat techniques, you can really get punished for it. So there's a few examples of how big organisations and even smaller ones have been punished by Google. So the consequences or the punishment could mean that they blacklist your website, which means that all of your rankings get lost. It also might mean that you can't even come up in Google for your name. So it happened to BMW Germany, which I'll show you. You actually Google BMW Germany and they didn't come up. The white hat techniques are the things that Google approves of, so it's good recommended practice. It's making your website attractive and usable for your users. So things like in black hat I mentioned before, so hiding keywords behind the website and doing all those sort of things, that changes every minute. So what was okay once might change the next day. So if you are doing your SEO yourself, it's often hard to keep up to date with what Google does approve of. And when we get into the algorithms, it'll become more obvious. So this is one of the famous examples. This happened in 2006. So even Google was really strict back then, and it's gotten stricter and stricter every day. So Rico and BMW Germany were both blacklisted and banned off Google. There's even a blog on Matt Cutt's, Matt Cutt's blog, there's a mention of that as well. Basically says that they should have known better. You know, they should follow the practices that we lay out. There is a Google support website which does lay out some of the changes, but a lot of the time the changes that Google puts forward you won't know about. I mean, often the only reason we know about them is because we've got thousands of clients. We can see, oh, something's gone wrong with this client, and then we can see what was different between that website and kind of guess what Google did, but often Google won't tell you. This is a really famous example as well. This is JCPenney in New York, so it's a retail department store. What JCPenney did, they thought they were really clever. They had a few university students that worked at the JCPenney store. So they approached the university students and said, hey, can you get your website, your university website to link to us? So like, for example, Harvard or whatever, linking back to JCPenney. And it really improved their page rank because they're getting all these quality universities, educational institutions linking to them. But the problem with that is it's not relevant. There's no relevancy. The link was really dodgy. So Google cracked down on that and they lost all their rankings and they had to apologise to Google and remove it all. So it's a really famous example of if you try and trick Google, you usually get caught. If you do want to learn more about Google's algorithm, like I said, Matt has a lot of videos. There's another video that you can view in your own time. What I'll do is we'll just go through what Google considers and then we'll get into the penguins and pandas.
So this one might be a little bit hard to read, but it's a report that a company in the US publishes every year, Search Metrics, which basically looks at the ranking factors that Google determines when choosing who comes up first, who comes up second, etc. It is really quite hard to see, but what this basically represents is social media factors, on-page factors like tags, meta tags, links in, quality of links, just a whole heap of factors. I mean, there's over 200 ranking factors that Google determines and the actual weight that it gives to each. And this isn't actually published by Google. This is just what the information they've extracted as correlation for the rankings. So it's not to say like, oh, I must do this and I will get you good in Google. They don't tell you that. You've got to sort of work it out yourself.
There is a link to that at the bottom, so if you want to check out so you can actually read through it, there's a link on the bottom of the slide. So we won't spend too much time on it.
Yeah, it is very interesting.